Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of English. Students, this is the revision lecture. These are the revision lectures which are going on. In that we are right now at revision lecture number 5, in which today we are going to start with revision of one of the grammar topic, that is direct, indirect. So uh, what is a direct speech? The message of the speaker is conveyed or reported in his actual words, that is without any change. That means whatever the speaker has said, that comes in double inverted quote, starting with the opening of the inverted quote from where the dialogue starts till the end of the dialogue where double inverted quote closes. So without changing any of the word that the narrator or the speaker has said, that is called a direct speak. Example is given. Radha said, I am very busy now. Now we can see that who is the speaker? Radha. What did he say? In which tense? Because now whatever was said was repeated, yes, in its original form. That is why he say said. Then we put a comma and the dialogue. The comma separates the speaker, the tense of that, and whatever is said, right? That is why that comma is there. Then that inverted quote, starting of the inverted quote, the dialogue that is there, and when the dialogue is complete, double inverted quote close. So whatever is in between the quote is the actual dialogue, actual words spoken by the speaker and who is speaking it. What is an indirect speech? The message of the speaker is conveyed or reported in our own words. Now we heard that. We heard what the speaker said, and now we are again reporting that to a third person, right? So when the speaker was saying, that is the first person. Suppose I was listening, I was the second person, I heard that, and I will now relating that same thing to somebody else. So the message of the speaker is relayed, conveyed or reported in our own words, right? So that is why I say, now what were the original words or what was said by the speaker? Radha said, comma, double inverted quote, open, I am very busy, full stop, double inverted quote, close. Now that is direct speech. What is indirect speech? I am conveying the message to somebody else, right? So Radha said. Now main thing over here to see is the comma and inverted quote. We omit that. Instead of that we insert THAT, that, right? This is to separate the speaker, the tense, and whatever was the message was conveyed by the speaker. Now we are referring to the dialogue, right? Radha said I, so I will get converted because now we are speaking in our words. So we'll have another pronoun for that. Radha said that. She. Tense changes because these are original words said by the speaker and whatever the tense is. But now that is already over. That speaking, the narrating, the dialogue is already over. Yes, and then we are relating that message to somebody else. So whatever has happened, transpired, that has happened earlier. So it is past tense, right? So the main important point over here is the tense changes in direct and indirect, right? So we have to focus a lot on the tense of the sentence, and that means basically the verb, right? Whole of the play of transformation of sentences is the game of the verb, right? The more better you are with verb, the more better you will be able to do the transformation. So present tense becomes past tense. Okay, we are going to learn that also if somebody asks. Now, she, am becomes was. Rest of the thing remain as it is. Only thing is, some of the words with time they change. So now becomes then. So Radha said into inverted quote, I am very busy now. When we turn it to indirect, Radha said that she was very busy then. So this is now this is what we learned right now. All the commas, quotations mark are omitted, and the sentence stops with ends with a full stop, right? The sentence ended in direct speech with an inverted quote. Whatever your sentence is, the sentence ends with three things, that is full stop, exclamation mark, or question mark. You have to put the inverted quote after that, right? So the sentence ended with a inverted quote, right? When we turn it into indirect, the commas after the reporting verb and complete dialogue, the quotation mark disappears or we omit it, and the sentence will end with a full stop. Second, conjunction that is added when we remove comma and inverted opening inverted quote. When we omit that, we insert that. Conjunction that is used before the indirect statement. The pronoun I is changed to she. The pronoun is changed in person, right? Now pronoun I, now we change it to third person, he, she, it. The verb am is changed to was, present tense is changed to past. We are going to learn that also. Adverb now is changed to then. Yes, these are the things that we did. Now we come to the tenses. Now tenses, there are three: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Now which one changes to what? Simple present will get changed into simple past. We have already seen that thing, right? Now we see another example. Sam said, I write. This is in simple present tense. Yes, that means write will become past tense wrote. Sam said that he wrote novels. This is very important to understand. Simple past changes, simple present changes into simple past. I am happy, she said. Yes, a dialogue can be anywhere, and the person saying that or the reporting verb can be anywhere else, right? At the beginning or at the end, it doesn't matter. So it is the same thing. She said, I am happy, or I am happy. She said that. We will write in the proper way, right? Because we cannot make that change. We cannot write this earlier and this later, right? So we have to bring the narrator or the speaker in the front. So she said that. I am, I will change to person. Pronoun I will change to third person. She. Am, present tense will change to past tense. So she said that she was happy. We saw simple present changing to simple past. Same way, present continuous will change to past continuous. So Prakash said the doctor is examining, right? Is tells us this is present tense, and ing tells us this is continuous. So this is present continuous. Is ka past tense, was ing remains same, right? So Prakash said that the doctor is changes to was, examining remains, because continuous ka continuous rehna. Only simple only that present tense will become past tense. Continuous will remain as it is. So Prakash said that the doctor was examining the patient. Rest of the words, they just fall in place. Yes, we do not make any changes to that. I am reading a book, he explained. Now am tells me this is present tense, ing tells me this is present continuous. Yes, so he explained, that. I changes to person, he am, present tense changes to was, reading remains as it is, it becomes past continuous instead of present continuous. Now the third type of tense, that is present perfect. Present है तो present का past हो जाएगा, perfect will remain as it is. Present perfect will change into past perfect. So you have to be very particular about what is used in the tenses. Yes, so present perfect will always have and has, because it is I. We will have has, plural we have, you have, plural second person you have, but third person singular, he has, she has, it has, again third person plural, they have. So you have to be very clear with these things. Om said I have dusted the shelf. Now it becomes past perfect. Past perfect means had, right? So Om said that. I changes to person, he. Have changes to have is present perfect. It changes to past perfect, that is had. Rest of the sentence remains as it is. Dusted the shelf. That is only one change that we make. What is that change? Have becomes had, and because it is person, because it is pronoun, it changes to person. There is no mention of time over here, right? Today, tomorrow, yesterday. So we don't make any changes over there. Om said, Raj has. Now, because it was I, we had. Now it is third person, Raj, and proper noun, right? Person. So person hai to has aayega, right? So Om said Raj has dusted the shelf. Now again, have or has will change to past perfect. Have and has, both of them are present perfect. They will change to past perfect. That is had. Om said that Raj had. We make only one change over here. Has becomes had. So we see that the importance of nouns, sorry, verbs. Yes, there's lots of importance of verbs because the whole of the play is upon the verb. Om said that Raj had dust the shelf. She said, he. Again, it is person. Person hai to has aayega, third person hai, right? So she said he has finished his food. Present perfect has will change to had. That is the only thing that we change. She said that he had finished his food. Now we have present perfect continuous. Now we know present tense changes to past. Perfect remains same way continuous remains same. Present perfect continuous will become past perfect continuous. Yes, have been will be changing to had been because present perfect continuous will have been and ing. Yes, what are the verbs that are used? Have been is the helping verb plus verb plus ing, right? So have been losing will become had been losing, right? Jig said I have been losing weight will change to Jig said that he had been losing weight. Jig said jog has been. Now this is pronoun. Now third person proper name is given, right? So that is jog. If it is third person, that means person hai to has aayega, right? So Jig said that jog has been losing weight. This is present perfect continuous. Has been says it is present perfect ing. Verb plus ing tells it is continuous. So present perfect continuous will change into past perfect continuous. Jig said that jog had been losing weight. Now we come to simple past. Now, before we do that, now, before we do that, let us understand one small thing. Simple present, this is past tense, this is present tense, and okay, future we'll see later. Now, simple present will change to simple past. Yes, simple present will change to simple past. Now, what happens if it is simple past? तो simple past के नीचे क्या आता है? Now, simple present will change into simple past. Then after simple past, we have past continuous, then we have past perfect, and then we have past perfect continuous. Right? Same way over here we have present continuous, we have present perfect, and we have present perfect continuous. Now simple present changes into simple past because present has a past. Now what about past? When it is past, what will happen? Simple present will become past perfect. Simple present will become past perfect. Now past continuous will become past perfect continuous. This much we have to remember, right? Simple past will become past perfect, and continuous will become past perfect continuous. This much we have to keep in mind. Now let us see the example of that. Simple past changes to past perfect, right? Now simple past is he said I broke the glass. Now I pronoun because it is he pronoun, right? Break, past tense is broke. So our first job is to determine in which tense the verb is, right? Broke, I broke. It is simple past, right? The glass. Now simple past will change into past perfect. What is past perfect? Had. Now if we are using had, then we have to use past participle also, right? Had plus past participle. So he said that he, because it is I pronoun, it changes to person, he. Then had, and broken, break, broke, broken. So past perfect, that means we have to use past participle of the main verb, right? So he said that he had broken the glass. Same way, he said Ira arrived on Monday. He said that Ira remains the same, arrived, that is past tense. So had and arrived, had arrived on Monday. Past continuous changes to past perfect continuous, right? That is had been plus ing. Past continuous is past plus past tense plus ing. That tells us it is past tense. So first, job first is to determine the tense of the sentence. This sentence is in past continuous, was and plus verb plus ing. Joe said I was cleaning my office. When we turn it into indirect, Joe said that. I pronoun male. So he had been cleaning. Had been cleaning is past perfect verb plus ing, right? So had been cleaning his office. I was cleaning my office turns into he had been cleaning his office. Same way, we were living in Goa. They told me. They told me that. We becomes his pronoun. They will become person. So we becomes they. Were living becomes had been living. We becomes they. They had been living in Goa. Now past perfect remains the same. Past perfect continuous also remains the same. It does not get changed. Now we come to simple future. Simple future, we use will or shall for future to determine future. So will and shall changes into would and should. Now we have to remember that will or would, both of them, they are models. Both of them are models, and they express particular mood of the sentence, right? Would is never the past tense of will. Yes, but where indirect is concerned, we do accept that would is the past tense of will. Otherwise, both are models, and models, they do not have any tenses, right? It is just to express the, but they cannot, right, have a past tense or a present tense or future tense, right? So will and shall, They are expressing mood. Would and should, usually they are not considered as the past tense of will and shall, but here, for the purpose of making the indirect more clear according to the tense, we consider will, would and should as the past tense of will and shall. So will and shall will change into would and should. Will said, I will change my will. Will tells us that this is simple future. So simple future, will and shall changes into would and should. So will said that. Pronoun becomes person. He will changes into would. Rest of the sentence remains as it is. He said, I will be in Kolkata tomorrow. He said, comma and inverted comma converts into that. I pronoun changes into he, will changes into would. Rest of the sentence will remain as it is tomorrow, except tomorrow will change into the next day. Yes, time. Words that express time. Right? They are future continuous. Future continuous is always a conditional sentence. Why? Because there is a condition. I'll be using, for example, the sentence given over here, I'll be using the car next Friday. That means till next Friday I'm not using your car. Next Friday I'll use your car. That means you are not going to. So there is some condition applied over there. Simply it changes to conditional continuous. Future continuous changes into conditional continuous. She said, comma inverted comma changes to that. I will be, she would be. That is the only change. Will change into would, using the car. Next Friday it's already given to us. Now we concentrate on verbs. Is and am changes into past. That is simple present changes into simple past. That we have already seen, right? But this is for the for the sake of importance about verbs, because we are more concerned about words in direct and indirect. So Joe said, I am a doctor. Joe said that he is a doctor. Now why did I am did not change to I was a temp? Because that will change the meaning of the sentence. That means Joe said that he was a doctor. Right now he is not a doctor. So here we learn that truth never changes. Once a doctor, always a doctor. Once an engineer, always an engineer. That remains the truth, right? We cannot change the truth. We cannot change the facts, right? So Joe said that I am a doctor. This is a state, right? So state never changes, right? We breathe oxygen. We were breathing. No, we always do that. That's the truth. We don't change that truth. So I am a doctor remains. He is a doctor. So just am, because this is pronoun. That is why I am using am here. In the indirect, we turn from pronoun to person. It becomes I becomes he. So with he we use the helping verb is. Joe said, I am doing my homework. Joe said that. I becomes he. Am becomes was over here. Right? He was doing his homework. Joe said, I am coming late. Joe said that he was going to come late. Are changes to were. This is plural. Yes? So, he said they are coming. Usually plural for helping verb is becomes are, right? So it is used with plural third person, or plural first person also we. Plural second person also you are will become you were. He said they are ready. He said that they are becomes were. That is the only change that happens over here. He said you are selected. He said that you become, because this is second person, we change it to third person. He. If it is third person, then are will never change to, because this is third person, so are changes to was. He was selected. If it is plural, then it remains plural. You were. Has and have changes to had. Present perfect changes to past perfect. That is, have and has becomes had. She said, I have a pencil. She said that she had a pencil. Have becomes had. That is the only change we do, and remove the quotations. She said they have gone. She said that they had gone. Was and were changes to had been. Simple past changes to past perfect, had been. Ali said, I was a government servant. Ali said that. Pronoun becomes person. Was becomes had been a government servant. Suman said they were planning to come. Suman said that they had been planning to come. Now we come to the do form, right? Do and does becomes did. Why? Because do and does, that is present tense, will turn into past tense. That is it. Yes, did is the past tense of do form. Do form present tense has two. Yes, I do, he does. Right? So do and does, they are both present tense. Changes into past tense, that is did. Sumit said, I do agree with you. Changes into Sumit said that. I becomes he, do becomes did, rest of the sentence falls as it is. Sumit said Ramsey does not play tennis. Now Sumit said that Ramsey, does becomes did. Ramsey did not play tennis. Did is past tense. Past tense changes to past perfect. So had done. Did becomes had, and the past participle of do form, that is done. So had and done. Amit said, I did my work. Amit said that he had done his work. My is pronoun. Change it to person. So I becomes he. Same way my becomes his. Rakesh said, my son did this painting. Rakesh said that his son had done, this becomes that painting. Now we come to models. We have already discussed that models can का past tense could नहीं होता, but for the direct indirect purpose we do consider that there are past tenses of the models, right? As far as can, may, etc., will, shall are considered, they have a past tense as could, would, should, etc. Can becomes could. The villager said, I can write my name. There will be only one change. See, the villager said that. I becomes he. That is understood because pronoun becomes person. Can becomes could. That is the only change that we have to do in the entire sentence. Right? So, direct and indirect, it's not quite hard. You must know what you have to do. Otherwise, you'll get confused with your own work. So, the villager said that there is only one change. Yes, this is understood. Only can changes to could. Otherwise, there is no name. Of course, here my is there, so it will change to his. So wherever pronouns are there, they will turn into person. If it is repetition of the proper name, then that also will get converted into third person. Other than that, we have only one work to do: find the tense and see what changes we have to do to the tense, depending upon the type of tense that is. Yes, present will become past. Past में नीचे वाला, right? So that way. The villager said, I can write my name, changes into that he could write his name. He said, I can swim. Can says ability, right? So he said that he could swim. Now here also a little bit expression of ability is said. He could swim. That means he doesn't know, but he can swim. So he could swim. So that is how we consider could as the past tense of can. May changes to might. Pilot said we may crash. So pilot said that. Two changes are there. One is pronoun becomes person. We becomes they. Second is may becomes might. Rest of the sentence, whatever the length of the sentence, let it be. Right? Of course, wherever verbs are there, they have to get converted. Wherever pronouns are there, they have to get converted. So these are the only changes. Right? He said, I may buy a house. He said that. I becomes he, may becomes might. So he said that he might. Rest of the sentence falls as it is because here there is no other thing to change. Must becomes had to. This is compulsory. Why? Must means compulsory. Yes, I must finish my homework. It's compulsory. So compulsory, another way of saying may must is had to. Yes, I must do this, I had to do this, meaning is the same. So wherever must is there, we change it to had to or would have to. I would have to, because you are still, I must do it, that shows that you have not still done it. So another way of expressing must is would have to. So you can alternately use either had to or you can use would have to. He said I must work hard, he said that. I, pronoun changes to person. He, must changes to had to, same way. He said that he would have to. Either you use had to or you use would have to, means the same. Mary said I must remember this. Mary said that she had to remember that. Alternately, she would have to remember that. This becomes that. Will or shall changes to would or should, that we have already seen. Would, should, could, might. Very important thing. uh, Can, we consider could as the past tense of can. Now what about could? If the sentence has could, then what to do? Where to change? No change has to be done. So these are the models where no change happens. It will remain as it is. Would, should, could, might, ought to, they do not change. Yes, I could swim will remain as he could swim. You do not make any changes to the already accepted past tenses of the models, right? So would, should, could, might, ought to, all of them, they do not change. Now we come to types of sentences. Assertive sentence, said or told. It's very important where you will use said, where you will use told. Everywhere you will not use told, right? So this explanation is about the clarification where you will use said, where you will use told. So Rohan said I won the match. Now he has said it, he is not saying to anybody particular. So Rohan said will remain as Rohan said, it will not change to Rohan told, because right now he is not telling. We do not have any other person to whom he is communicating. We do not have that in the sentence, right? So Rohan said will remain as Rohan said. Now, because the reporting verb is in past tense, said, so inside the inverted quote, all the grammar will change, right? So I changes into he won, that is past tense. Past tense changes into past perfect, so had won the match. Assertive sentences, said or told. Rohan said to Sia. Now he is saying it to someone, that is telling. Understand? If there is a second person, or if there are lots of other people, audience over there, right? He is saying that to someone, then it is told, otherwise it remains as said. If he is saying another person or a few other people are mentioned over there with along with the reporting verb, then and then only it will become told, otherwise it will remain as said. Here he is telling it to someone. Rohan said to Sia, Rohan told Sia. It will not be Rohan told to Sia, right? It will simply mean Rohan told Sia. I won the match. Again, we have to do that same thing. Won is in past tense, so past perfect. I changes to he. Rohan told Sia that he had won. Won becomes had won. That is the only other change over here. And we change the reporting verb. If there are two people mentioned, then Rohan told Sia. Otherwise, it will be Rohan said if he doesn't say to anybody else. Jia said to Ria. Now, two people are mentioned. That is why told. Jia said to Ria, I wrote a book. Now, this is past tense. So, past tense, past perfect. Jia told Ria that wrote. Past tense becomes past perfect. That is, had written a book. Exclamatory sentence. How to change exclamatory sentence? Exclamatory sentence, they will be having interjection words, or they may not be having interjection words. They can simply have an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. Both of them are true, and both of them have to be converted into indirect. So Ganesh said, Ganesh. Now that is exclamation mark over there. You can use the word exclaimed, right? Because then only it tells us that the rest of the sentence was, the dialogue was in an exclamation form, right? If you say Ganesh said, then the reader will not be able to understand the proper mood of the sentence or in which form the sentence was, right? So we use exclaim. Ganesh exclaim. Rest of the things fall as it is. That. Now, how tasty it is. Now, this how changes into very. Yes. How did that happen? If I didn't write how, what will it mean? This dish is tasty, only tasty, right? Not very tasty. How tasty tells us it is very tasty. That is why this word how, we omit that, but then we substitute the mood of the sentence. Ganesh exclaimed that it was very tasty. If how was not there, tasty it is, right? Then it is tasty. But how is there? It tells us about the degree of that tastiness. So very is allowing us to understand the degree of the sentence. So Ganesh exclaimed that it was very tasty. Harry said, alas, Alex is not no more. Right? That means Alex has passed away. Right? So that's a sad thing. So we write it in more than one way. Harry exclaimed sadly that Alex was no more, or Harry exclaimed that he was sorry to inform that Alex is no more. In whichever way suits you. Yes, both of the sentences are true. Another one is not written over here, but it means to say that we are sorry. Alas means we are very sorry. Alas is usually used when we regret something very, very much, or you are very sad about that thing. Yes, usually attached with death of person or pets or animals, right? So Harry said, alas, Alex is no more. Harry exclaimed sadly that Alex was no more, or Harry said that he was very sorry to say that Alex is no more. Both the sentences are true. Interrogatory sentences, yes or no question. Interrogatory sentences, we know that as question tags, etc. Right? If question tag is not there, then also it's an interrogative sentence. They are asked for the sake of asking, right? So Rita asked to Kina, or go get a yes no answer. Is this your bag? Will have a yes or no, right? So Rita asked Kina. Now Rita asked to Kina will change into Rita asked Kina, is this your bag? You are asking a, yeah, so it will become a conditional sentence with if that was, this becomes that. Yes, so is asking if it is, so if that is becomes was, this becomes that, if that was her bag. WH question, all the WH words, who, which, where, when, whose, why, what, how, whom. Yes. Now, don't use that over here. Why did we use that? Because we removed the comma punctuations, that is comma and inverted quotes. When we do the indirect with WH words, yes, we have to keep the WH word as it is. But that is why when you are using WH word also and then you are using that also, yes, so it doesn't make sense, grammar becomes wrong, so we remove that or we omit writing that. Instead of that, we continue with the WH word. Don't use that, keep the WH question or word. Teacher said whose book is lost. Yes, now what we did is we removed comma and inverted comma and inserted that, right? So instead of that, we'll use the same WH word. Teacher asked whose book is becomes author. We do not forget to change the tense, right? Only thing is when it is a question, yes, interrogative, we have to continue with the WH word and not write that. Otherwise, whatever changes are happening to the tense, we have to do that change. Teacher asked whose book is lost. Teacher asked whose book was lost. Same way. Avi said, why are you late? Avi asked, because it is asking. Here it is said. Reporting verb is said, but then question is asked. So you can write inquired, asked, depending upon what is being done over there. Avi inquired why he was late. Avi asked. Yes, or you can say questioned also. Sometimes it happens. Avi asked, we keep the WH word as it is, we do not use that. Yes, Avi asked that why. We don't use that and why together. We omit that, we use WH word. Avi asked, why are you late? Because you changes to from pronoun to person. So if it is person, we use was. Avi asked why he was late. Now, what about the do form? What happens when the do form is used? Yes, we already know did changes to did is past tense. Past tense changes to past perfect. So did becomes had. Yes. So I asked her, did you buy the tickets? I asked her, this is conditional, if she had bought the tickets. Yes. Now, how did this change happen? Same thing happens with helping verbs. Yes, if the question is starting with helping verb, or if the question is starting with the helping verb of do form, right, then it is a conditional sentence. So did becomes if you becomes she, this is by, right? If she had, now this is did is past tense, so past tense changes into past perfect, so did becomes had bought, that we have already seen. I asked her if she had bought the tickets. Same way I asked her, will you play tennis? Now this is models. So if she played tennis, will you play? This is asking. I asked her if she would play tennis, because we know will changes into would. But again, as will is also considered as helping verb, right? So if there is a helping verb at the starting of the sentence, we take it as a conditional sentence in the indirect. I asked her, can you play tennis? I asked her if she could play tennis. What is the change that we did? Because it starts with helping verb, right? Or the model. So we use conditional sentence, can changes to could. We can alternately use whether. If की जगह पे हम whether use कर सकते हैं. So I asked her whether she could play tennis. She said to me. So here it will be she asked me. What are you doing? What was I doing? Imperative sentences, kindly understand the mood. Where there are imperative, drop that and use to or for. Yes. Now, this is a rule, right? So we have to stick to it. Now, look at the mood of the sentence. Why mood of the sentence? Imperative sentences, they are command, order, request, suggestions, opinions. They are all imperative sentences. Now we have to look who is saying and how he is saying. Yes, a child cannot order, yes, an adult, right? But if the child is in quite a good position, then he can order a servant, right? Because servant is adult, but then the child is the master of the house. So we have to see the mood of the sentence, who is saying and to whom it is being said. If we take the example, the beggar said, please give me 5 rupees. Now beggar will be begging, right? So what is the mood of the sentence? He is begging, right? So we can write it in different way. The beggar begged for, because we don't use that. The beggar said that. We remove said also, we remove that also, because here basically begging is being done, right? And for or to is to be used. Now where we can use for, where we can use to. The beggar begged for 5 rupees, or the beggar begged to give him 5 rupees. Yes, to infinitive, to plus give, right? So in that way, for giving 5 rupees, no, for 5 rupees. But if you are using to, you have to use to infinitive, right? So the beggar begged to give him 5 rupees. The beggar pleaded. Now if you are using pleaded, you cannot use for. We can alternately use for, but then not to. So either you use for or you use to plus infinitive, right? So the beggar pleaded to give him 5 rupees, or the beggar pleaded for 5 rupees. The boy said to his father. Now a small boy is saying, he is asking. Yes, and nowadays boys can order also, right? So understand the mood of the sentence, what is being said. The boy said to his father, give me 5 rupees. Now the question is still 5 rupees, but the persons have changed. Here the beggar is asking. First we saw that the beggar was asking to somebody, right? So he's begging. Now a boy will not beg from his father, right? So the boy, what does he do? Here the mood changes because the people have changed. The boy is requesting his father to give me. So the boy requested. We don't use that. His father to give him. Yes, or the boy demanded 5 rupees from his father. We can alternately say the boy demanded his father to give him 5 rupees. So you can use for, he can use from, you can use to, right? Depends upon the mood of the sentence. The shopkeeper, he is now asking for 5 rupees. So he is demanding because he has sold you some goods and he has a right to ask for 5 rupees. The shopkeeper demanded to give him 5 rupees or okay. Okay, so grandma said avoid chilled water. Now grandma will always give advice or suggestion or opinion. So she is suggesting over here. So it's an advice. So grandma advised to avoid chilled water. Father said, put on your coat. This is an order. So father ordered him to put on his coat. Same way mother said, don't hang. This is a warning, right? So mother warned not to hang on the railing or he would fall. Will changes to would. So we complete our today's lecture over here. Thank you, students.